You guys hit us up, okay? It is Titan Tuesday, and that only means one big important thing, and that we're sitting down with the CEO of Titan Medical to talk about the possibilities of what is the possibilities of optimizing your health to the true potential that you should have and beyond. Johnny, thanks for coming in early.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate it. It's never too early for you, for sure,
And
100%. Especially being 3 hours ahead of you, I guess. So it's a lot easier for me.
Today is with most of us being parents, we know that this is the time of season that my little boy at pre-K is doing some kind of stage performance.
Oh, nice.
So I got to go laugh my ass off with some other parents and see what they have in the mix.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I mean, in these times of year, obviously those little performances and holiday parties and all that. Those are the best memories, man. I mean, I think we remember doing it as kids, and now getting to see our kids do it is super cool. And like it's something like you always hold true. You always look back at, and the best thing about it is nowadays that you can capture those moments with 4K cameras and video and be able to hold on forever. Where before, you had to, get those pictures printed out. Sometimes they would be okay, and sometimes they wouldn't. So at that point, you might lose those memories and
They
stuff
don't
like
know
that.
about the 1 hour photo. They don't know about that kind of
Well,
stuff.
yeah, when our photo, man, the disposable cameras and the other ones, like the other cool ones back in there were the Polaroid ones where you could print them out right there on the spot and you flick them around. They develop. So,
I
not
still
the
have
time
I
and
have a
face too.
Polaroid.
You do?
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool even
Yeah.
nowadays. You know?
Yeah, we should bring it today because it's also just so they're so vintage. Um, yeah, I'll grab that. It's so cool and so old school. That's like auditions. And this is not even that long ago. We're talking the
Yeah,
'90s. They
yeah,
would take Polaroids of us when we came into auditions.
yeah. And then one of the
So
pictures right there on the spot. I mean, nowadays it's so cool for kids because they've got the film where they shoot it out and they're stickers now. Well, they can
yeah,
just pull them off. They get I mean, kids love that kind of stuff. Or you can get just regular Polaroids, real small, thin ones, or excuse me, square ones. And like that's what I bought my niece this year. I got her one of those little pink little Polaroid cameras that print out because she's 7, 8 years old. So at that point, like she's gonna print this out with her friends. Be able to take pictures, and I think it's something that's very very cool that we experienced when we were kids. Now they can experience just at a better resolution rate for the pictures and probably quality as far as longer lasting. I don't know. Some of those Polaroid pictures are still lasting, so it was a good product back then. It's still a good product now.
I liked them when I was dieting and stuff because those Polaroids, for some reason, don't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
They tell
Mm-hmm.
you straight up what you look like.
Oh yeah.
And even when you go into auditions back then, it's like, man, you're hoping for a good shot, but they they tell you what you really look like. Where today with the iPhone, you can do whatever, and
Yep.
they manipulate that stuff so much. And
Yep.
so for me, just to really gauge what I'm looking like, I do that. I know that's a side note, but
That's the
I
best.
always love that.
Raw, uncut, unfiltered.
I,
True.
I do need to say that I absolutely love your backdrop today.
Thanks. Shout out to Art for this one. Yeah. Christmas tree. We're all festive here. We're having our Christmas party today at the end of the day. So yeah, it's we're gonna do our Secret Santa and stuff like that. We'll have our holiday party here, getting some good food and stuff like that. Enjoy a little team bonding at the same point. It's always a good time, especially in Christmas. Gotta get in that spirit. It's harder, I guess, to get in that spirit when you live in a warmer place. When you're up north and you live up there where it's gloomy and snowy and it feels a lot more like Christmas because it's cold as hell. All the trees, all the branches are done. I mean, it is what it is. It looks like it, so you more feel like it. And down here, and people are still in boats, and people are in shorts today, and it's like what 50 something, 55, 60 degrees, and people are acting like it's 20 below down here. I mean, look at them
Yeah.
in a jumpsuit and all cozy and warm. You know, it's different. You know, you put a palm tree, but put lights on instead of a Christmas tree.
I do miss that about Washington State is that it was nice, that cold weather and the snow and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely more a different environment. I remember jet skiing or not jet skiing, snowmobiling every year, growing up and stuff like that. You know, I had my own snowmobile. We just do that. Me and my dad, and I don't know, that was fun. Like I said, but I will not go back to it. You know, it'll be listen, it'll be fun. Maybe me and you and the kids and all that. We'll take a trip to like Colorado. Maybe we'll go skiing. You know,
For a
something like
weekend.
that.
Not living in it.
Not living in it. I'm not doing that. I'm not driving in it. I'm not. Going outside, warming my car up early, shoveling snow. I'm done with that for sure.
So last week, I want to jump in, and I don't. If nobody was here last week, one of the big things that we talked about last week was that I always seem to have issues with sleep as I am dieting down. And if anybody else is having that, that's the reason why is your body is in such a deficit. And so food actually helps you sleep well. And that's why I love off season, because I like those carbohydrates at nighttime, helps me sleep through the night, gives me some good deep sleep. But when you're burning it off and your body's looking for that nutrients during the sleep, you have a tendency to wake up, and you wake up so awake. And so John was talking about some peptides. Can we revisit that for a second?
Sure, sure.
Some
So
peptides that you can take at night to help you sleep. And again, you don't need to be in a deficit for this aspect. I mean, I'm just stating for me, I find that my sleep is not as good when I need it.
right.
For I think all of us, we can agree that you need it when you're in a deficit and when you're really starting to tighten up. That's when you need to sleep even more so.
Absolutely, absolutely. Sleep is obviously one of the most important things you have. Even with studies now with dementia, Alzheimer's disease, the less sleep that you get, the more higher of a risk that you are for these diseases. And as we get older, we get less sleep, and people think that, well, I don't need as much sleep as I used to, and that's why. Well, that's not the reason why. Your sleep's deteriorating, and that's what's happening. So at that point, creating those good sleep habits is key. And we talked about last week of not using narcotics to be able to do this, or melatonin or something like that. We're heavily balancing, everything on this medication to put you out per se. And then when you stop this medication, having even more trouble sleeping. So, if you're going to do this, you want to look at something that's going to promote healthy sleep patterns or promote healthy sleep, which is deep sleep and REM sleep. So when we talk about those different things, we talk about a couple different peptides. So obviously CJC with ipamorelin is going to be a good one to help with sleep. MK is going to be helping with sleep. But when we really want to dive directly into what will help me get better sleep, and we talked about two different types of sleepers, those that can't go to sleep because the wheels keep turning, and those that go to sleep but keep waking up hour by hour at nighttime. Or maybe in a deficit where they wake up and they're craving carbohydrates or whatever it may be, because people wake up hungry. So when we talk about those, we talk about two different main ones that we really focus on here at Titan Medical Center. One is our Titan Serenity, which has L-theanine, right, magnesium, and taurine. L-theanine is going to be great, and this one can be used in two different types of ways too as well. You can take half a dose and use it for anxiety. So people have anxiety, or they have social anxiety where they don't like to be around large groups of people. And some people have this, are really high up people. And, some people use beta blockers, which is not the best way. And a lot of people use something like this where it really slows them down to a certain extent and they can really focus on what they want to do. So L-theanine is key, and it will help relax you to go into a deeper sleep. Magnesium is going to distribute hormones and going to help with sleep too as well. Taurine for brain function. I mean, these three together are going to work very well to help you go to sleep and stay asleep naturally and giving your body what it needs. The other one, the main peptide that I would recommend for sleep and that we still do offer through a couple pharmacies is DSIT. It's Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. And basically what that does is it's a precursor to GABA, and GABA is essential for deep REM sleep. I mean, it's great for putting you out and keeping you out. We used to have GABA by injectable in our Titan Serenity before, but the FDA does not want it compounded. You can take it orally, but it just doesn't have the same effect. But I can tell you before, when you did take it, it would drop you. You'd like 15 minutes. You'd be like, wow, what just hit me like that? But these are two really really good ones that you can utilize: Titan Serenity and D-Sip for deep quality sleep, helping you go to sleep and stay asleep.
Is this both good for men and women?
Both men and women. Both. I mean, majority of our therapies that we do are for both men and women, because face it, all the people out there have the exact same hormones, whether they're men or women. I mean, majority, just at different levels, but all the different therapies out there, they work for people, and that really doesn't have a preference of gender.
Then, so we talked about sleep and peptides for sleep and CJC. Again, that was one that I think that me and Mona were talking about. I didn't realize the benefit as well for sleep on that one.
Yep.
And that also helps with, if I'm correct, it helps keeps the IGF-1 more rotating through the system. Is that correct? A longer shelf life, I guess you would say, within the
Yeah,
body. Is that? Could
yeah.
you explain that to me?
Sure. What CDC does with ipamorelin, because there are two different peptides and they're working synergistically together. But what they do is in layman's terms, they stimulate your own natural production of growth hormone in your pituitary, and that then goes down and converts an IGF-1, 2, and 3 in the body. So it will raise IGF-1 levels, not crazy levels, but it will raise them. And the other factor to that is that it will help with all the other benefits like sleep, elasticity of skin, any anti-aging effect that you're looking for from growth hormone. The thing about it is it doesn't overstimulate your pituitary. Where a growth hormone, if you take it straight, it's going to overstimulate your growth hormone levels, and that's what gives you a higher level of IGF-1. So, it's good for the body as far as creating more pulses to create more growth hormone in the pituitary. So it's a good way to stimulate your own natural production without overdoing it.
I guess also clue me in on this one, because this is always a good talk now with the peptides seem to be such a safer route for people
Yep.
compared to discussions that they have about HGH. That HGH should be taken for a short period of time because if taken for a long period of time, there's some serious side effects to this aspect where you don't find those side effects with peptides.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. That's definitely correct. When you start using growth hormone, and I'm not here to tell you that growth hormone's not good or could be used for good things, right? Because there's
But you
definitely
take it for a shorter period of time, which would be the smartest route. And again, I think if we can teach them that this is not something you would do for a year straight. And if I'm
no.
correct, it seems like some people are getting carpal tunnel and stuff like this. It's like things
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that that's a possibility for taking something too long. Now, for a short period of time, it's what they say is the top shelf. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great thing to do, but
Mm-hmm.
can you go into any of that kind of stuff? Like what would
Sure.
be a shelf life to do that and then switch over to a peptide?
You know, when you started talking about growth hormone, it's a little bit harder to get a hold of as far as that goes, prescribed, right, by physicians. It's not a controlled substance, but the DA looks highly down and frowned upon if it's used for anything other than what it's approved for. So, and there's doctors that write it off label, but there's doctors that have lost their licenses for prescribing it too as well. So it's just something that's very touchy and it's really expensive. That's the other negative downside compared to a peptide, where it's about a third of the cost. Now, if you're going to use growth hormone, there's different ways to be able to use it. Now, if you blood test and your IGF-1 levels in the toilet all the time, you could be a candidate for this, and that could definitely give you a lot of good benefits. And if you're going to take it like that, and you can afford it, little doses, long period of time would not do the thing as high doses for long periods of time, because there's differences. But if you're going to take it and you're going to take it, let's say for an injury, let's say it's for a rotator cuff or whatever you're trying to heal from a surgery, or, you can take growth hormone for a short extended period of time, get the benefits of the healing properties. It will give you anti-aging and all the other benefits of IGF-1 levels being high, recovery and all that. But, then you can really circulate. I would say 3 months usually, depending on who it is and what the injury is or whatever they're trying to achieve. Because, what are you trying to achieve when you're taking growth hormone? That's the other thing. Like, people have different reasonings for this. Whether they think that they can put on more lean tissue because of the growing of the different cells in the body, or they're looking for an anti-aging effect, whether they hit 40 years old and they think, hey, listen, I need to start taking this now because I don't want my skin to wrinkle or this and that. Or you can take it for recovery. Like I said, a lot of people get injured, and there are doctors out there that prescribe it for recovery, even though they're not supposed to. I hear it all the time. So at that point, they utilize it for 3 months. They go off of it and they go back on a CJC or a MK or whatever it may be at that point. But if you're going to take it for a short amount period of time, usually 3 months is usually the sweet spot for it. And now they can take it up to 6 months, and at that point still get some benefits from it. And you're not going to not get benefits from it. But if you take it for a long extended period of time and you start upping the doses, like, I see some of these guys where they're taking 8, 9, 8, and who knows if it's real or not. That's the other thing. But 8, 9, 10 IUs of growth hormone per day. I mean, one, if it's real growth hormone, it's going to be super expensive. 2, you're talking about the other negative side effects that could happen. When we talk about negative side effects from growth hormone, it could be type 2 diabetic, insulin resistance happening. You can talk about growth in different things that you don't really want to grow or different things, ears, nose, jawline. Things can change as far as that goes. And then, getting off of growth hormone. Let's say, hey, listen, you hit a financial wall and now you can't take growth hormone. Now your body might not produce as much growth hormone as it used to because it was overstimulated and it was usually using what you put into your body instead of using your body to produce it. It's just like, testosterone to a certain extent. If you put in testosterone from an outside source, your body's going to shut down and not produce as much. So you might go through a little crash there too as well. Everybody's different. So I'm not saying you are definitely going to have a crash, but it could happen. I've seen people crash. Their levels are not, they've been on it for 10, 12 years and then stop it because they were getting edema in their legs and their hands and stuff like that, and that's water retention, super water retention. So, and then that's where carpal tunnel and all these different things come into play. You don't want any of this negative effects. So, if you could do a safer route, a more inexpensive route for a long time, that would probably be your best bet. And that's where CJC and Ipron, these peptides, really come into play because they can help without a lot of the negative side effects. So even if you wanted the weight loss side effect of growth hormone, because a lot of people want that, if they're looking for weight loss, people told me I should take growth hormone. Well, that's not the best option for weight loss. For different things, yes, it could be played, but people usually take it for weight loss because they want to lose weight, and that was the best shape they've ever been in. Well, you can use AOD 9604 for that, and you can pair that up with CJC and Ipron. Now you got 2 peptides that still cost you less than what the growth hormone would probably cost you, and you're getting all the benefits of really what you want.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's just and somebody talks about here. Somebody just fused their back surgery.
Lumbar fusion. I'll be out of the gym
Lower
for
lumbar
6
fusion.
weeks. What supplements would you recommend for faster recovery?
Yeah, so there's a thing they call the Wolverine stack, I guess they call it. And again, we've talked about this numerous times. John, do you want to give him a little protocol that's recommended for this, mostly coming off of surgery?
Utopian Seeker. You'll be out of the gym for at least 6 weeks with a lower lumbar fusion. So at that point, you're going to want to look at a couple different peptides. BPC 157 and TB 500 for sure, 100%. Directing, like shooting it usually directly closest to the injury or the incision, not on the incision, not directly where the pain's at. Don't hurt yourself. Don't do that. IGF-1 could definitely help you out a lot with the healing and recovery with this. And those 3 things, I think, together are going to be a great matchup for what you're trying to do. And hopefully you'll get, out of the gym only at least 6 weeks because, having a fusion in your lower lumbar, that's pretty serious too. You don't want to put pressure and hurt yourself.
Yeah, and then also that's the supplementation. But John and me agree that during this time, make sure that you're eating to recover. And they talk about that. And so that's not something that you would bypass and just do the supplementation like they're showing right here. It's also make sure that you're eating a higher calorie intake now, mostly the carbohydrates and feeding the body. So optimize it. It's food, sleep, recovery, the peptides, all those aspects, all those aspects to really enhance it. And so that's the coolest thing about, I think, for me, about Titan Medical. And Jeff is the one that pointed it out to me on the discussion I had with my wellness provider. The first questions was, are you sleeping? Are you eating right? Are you exercising? How many times a week are you exercising? They don't even get into the secondary on what we can do. They made sure that I was at least living a Titan. Like Johnny always says, he lives the lifestyle of a Titan, a metahuman. And so just continue to do that, guys.
I wanted to
Absolutely.
jump on here because I see that some people they just on here to learn, to listen, but we also want them to ask questions.
Sure.
And maybe they don't know how to approach with a question. But here is some of the most important things that I look at every day almost. So first is like, am I sabotaging my health? Okay. And do I have a
Whoa.
routine that I'm
Whoa.
investing into my health? Because we know routine is everything when it comes to training, to nutrition, like Mike said. Everything that you do and you have a routine, your life is going to be so much easier. And with that routine comes, when it comes to your health, is like, what do I do? I first think, you know what? My blood work. What is my blood work stats or marks? Does that show me anything? So that's in my routine, okay? The next thing I do I sleep long enough? And you guys talked about that. If I don't, what can I do about sleeping? Here's another good one. Is my mind sharp enough as it used to be? Because I used to know and remember, I worked at a restaurant. I didn't need one of those tickets to write things down. I was taking orders from 20 people at the same time and remembering what they ordered. I can't do that right now. So is my mind sharp enough? If not, or how do I engage at work, right? How do you remember things? Because we multitask. So
Mm-hmm.
if you cannot engage and be sharp, there's things that you could do about that as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the most important things to me, because I'm sure everybody out there has a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, partner, whatever. How is my relationship? Is my relationship active as it used to be? We've been together for 10 years, and I want it to be as good as it was when we met. So is that what is taking place at the moment? If not, what can I do about that? So these are some of the most important questions that everybody should know. And it's a routine. This is a routine that you have to think all the time and kind of say, you know what? If I have all this together, then I don't really need much. Okay. Everything else just kind of falls in place. So I just wanted to jump on here as people don't know what to ask, but these are the most important questions when it comes to health, and to just improve your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you should be comfortable enough to ask us what you might think, oh, I shouldn't ask, it's too stupid. It's not. Nothing is stupid here.
Then let's go in reverse. John, will you talk to us about, and we're gonna take what Mona just, great job.
Mhm.
Great job. Go in reverse. So I think maybe it's an embarrassing discussion.
Mhm.
But the fourth thing and the last thing she brought up was the relationship.
Which is for me, it's most important because
But
if my relationship is healthy, then everything else will be healthy. We focus more together, we do things together, we travel, we do every when that's not healthy, everything falls apart, right? So that should be number
so
one,
would we
guys.
consider that? Could that be the sex life? Is
Yeah.
the passion still
Yeah.
there? So John, and I know you've talked about this, and that might be something people don't want to ask questions about. Can you talk to us about that? That Cupid's Candy and others that are possible to help stimulate that part of your relationship again.
Sure, sure. All right. So when we talk about relationships, we want to hit it on the head. You know, a good relationship deals with a lot of different things, aspects. You know, as far as going all in, emotional, physical, sexual, all these different things are key for a healthy relationship. And you know, a lot of the times, the sexual portion of the relationship gets dismissed, suppressed, put to the side. And the reasons could be, hey, listen, we have kids and I don't have time. I'm working different schedules. I just don't feel like it. And this could be hormone driven or other different things. So we want to set this time aside because this is key for a relationship and key to keep the passion in the relationship too as well. Everything's not sex based, but it does have its role. So when we talk about these different things, we have a lot of different options for guys and girls. Because listen, it's not just guys that want help or need help possibly, or don't need help and just want to perform like a superhero for their partner on special occasions. So this is a good thing. This is not something bad. It's not something that somebody should be shamed about. Listen, if you perform your best, there's no reason why you cannot take some of these different therapies. And when we talk about those, we talk about Cupid's Candy is one of them. And this one can be shared with both partners. That means the female can take it, the male can take it, and what it's comprised of. So it has 3 main players in it. One, it has PT141, which is an FDA-approved prescribed libido enhancer for females. Now, it works on males the exact same way. So this one works different than Viagra or Cialis would, tadalafil, sildenafil. It works on the nervous system to stimulate true libido enhancement. So right there, it's going to create that drive, and it will also create the erection effect too. But you pair it along with tadalafil, which is the main commercial product, Cialis, you're going to create even more blood flow. So at that point, you've got a vasodilator, you have something that's stimulating the nervous system, and then you have oxytocin. So oxytocin is a bonding hormone. This hormone brings people together, right? It lowers inhibition for partners too as well. It'll bring you closer. So, oxytocin is usually, it's given off naturally in the body. One way is when a female, she gives birth to her child, she holds her child for the first time, oxytocin is released in the body. This is also released with hugging, kissing, all these different effects with bonding. So if you take these 3 things, you put them together, we have these in an oral form for patients, sublingual, it's going to create a good effect that you guys can both utilize, or just one partner can utilize, which brings a lot of different effect in the bedroom, which can give you ultimate stimulation for ultimate pleasure, right? And that's just one bad boy. You can take PT141 by itself, and at that point, the FDA-approved version is an injectable that you would take subcutaneously only 2 times a week, so it's maintenance dosing, and you're ready to go all time. So at that point, you can inject it. You might even get a little bit of better tan from it too as well. So this is just another aspect that you can take. And then we go into our Supermans, our Wonder Womans, and our Iron Mans. So we have our Supermans, which we have 2 different versions of. If you're not on any hormones, so you're not prescribed any testosterone or anything like that, we have our regular sildenafil at 110 milligrams. You can take this in an oral sublingual troche. You're ready to go within 30 to 45 minutes. We have another one, if you are on hormones or testosterone with us, that has the sildenafil at 110 milligrams and 10 milligrams of testosterone, micronized. So it's not an ester. People are like, what is that, propionate? No, it's not an injectable, so it's not an ester. It's actually powdered micronized testosterone that you put in a sublingual troche. And people ask me, well, why do you do that? And the reason is this. The reason is because usually it's older gentlemen that are on it. And at that point, the older gentlemen usually have younger wives, girlfriends, fiancés, or partners, and they want to be able to go. So if you take regular sildenafil, you're always going to have the erection effect. But for guys, you might not have the stamina or endurance to go for the second or third round. So that is where the micronized testosterone really comes into play, to give you more stamina, more endurance with the erection effect to be able to please your partner. Ironmans. So Ironmans are sildenafil and arginine for maximum blood flow and effect. You want the most destructive erection you could possibly get? This is going to be up your sleeve.
I absolutely.
Okay?
I'm sorry, Jeff. Make a note at this point of this. We need that clip.
And we also have trimix and quad mix and stuff like that. We don't really promote that much. That's more for guys, and that's if anybody's out there that's used it, they don't know how it's used, but it's directly injected into the penis. So I myself wouldn't probably use it or recommend it, but there's a lot of guys out there that do use it and utilize it and like it. Or some people that can't take sildenafil or tadalafil because maybe they have cardiovascular issues, blood flow problems. They might have to take nitrates. So at that point, this is the only option for them. They can't get an erection any way, shape, or form otherwise, and this is the only way for them. Some people. So those are the big ones, right? And we also have tadalafil, which is Cialis. We have that in regular 10 milligram, 20 milligram, 5 milligram. So, we have a lot of different options as far as libido enhancers, both males and females out there.
So that takes care of for any of you guys out there asking questions about that the sexual, making the relationship that passion again. But then also mentioned something about your mind. And we've talked about this numerous times, and I think this is something for women that have kids. Sometimes they call it a brain fog, and it doesn't just happen through the pregnancy period, but they also retain it afterwards.
Right.
Or if you're just one of those that you're not remembering as much as you used to. And so, can you talk to us about stimulating the mind?
Sure, stimulating the mind. So, with pregnancy for especially for women, because that's where I think you brought up was all right. So they have they get foggy thinking, and then they have foggy thinking after they have the child for so many months or maybe for forever after that point, I guess. Well, when we look at that, we got to start looking at hormones because hormones really do fluctuate big time. One, during the pregnancy, they're all stimulating and are all going different crazy of effects, and then afterwards, and that's where postpartum depression comes in with females that have had kids, and they also have the foggy thinking, and they start gaining a whole bunch of weight, and then all these different negative things start happening to them, and they think this is normal. Well, it's not really normal. It's your body trying to reset after, some. It's kind of like a shock to the body to a certain extent because it went through this transformation and change, and now it's trying to go back from the transformation and change of what it's already doing. So at that point, like you really want to look at hormones, but then when you start looking at mental clarity and effect, there's a couple different ones that we would recommend. One would be NAD. NAD is definitely a great one. You can take daily. You can take, on 1 day period, or you can take over a time period, and it's going to work every time. The new one, the Apollo Nootropic, Dihexa is another capsule form that we have, and that's supposed to help with synapses, brain function, with helping learning. So, that's another big one, not just mental clarity, but helping retain information and learn information faster. I'm always interested in things like that because I want to be mentally strong and physically strong, not just one or the other. And if you're mentally strong, you're going to be able to get through a lot more different things, and you'll be able to come up with better ideas or think more clearly. So this is where I like to dominate too as well. But those two, I really recommend for brain function as far as that goes. If your hormones are in check, because if they're not in check, you have receptors in there, and like testosterone receptors inside the brain. If that is low, you're going to have the foggy thinking. That comes along with having low testosterone. That's one of the main symptoms out there too as well.
Look at this. I
We
think
got some good questions on here.
yeah. I would love to just discuss and see what we got here. Jeffrey, go for that one.
The previous physician had me on semaglutide CJC alternating with tesamorelin for preserving lean mass during weight loss. The problem, I have thyroid nodules and I have multiple cysts. I've been working with Jessica from your facility. Do you have any advice to help with the lean mass, as I am almost 51 and battling hormone issues?
Yeah. So, some of these issues that are coming from there or from stemming from what's going on is the thyroid nodules. You might have a thyroid issue that's going on, obviously, with the nodules on there. Now, your previous physician wasn't us, I can guarantee it, because you said you had thyroid nodules. Well, there's not too many contraindications for semaglutide as a negative thing, but I can tell you this, that is the number one thing that you don't prescribe usually with thyroid nodules. It's the number one thing not to prescribe semaglutide. So this could be doing a negative effect. Even though you might have been losing weight, it could have been causing negative things. To preserve lean body mass. This is going to really have to be bounced back to the provider because of thyroid nodules. But at that point, you're going to want to look at maybe some of the branched chain amino acid mixes that we have to preserve the lean body mass that are not going to affect those thyroid nodules. Because, I would say, CJC or, you said testosterone or maybe an IGF-1. But the provider might not like that because of the thyroid nodules and going on. And at that point, your health would be number one priority. And we wouldn't want to make sure, wouldn't want anything else to grow negative or be negative out of that for some short-term effect. If we lost 10 pounds now, but later on, like 6 months later, you come down with cancer of the thyroid and you have to get your thyroid taken out, you're going to be pissed. I'd be mad. I'd be like, listen, I'd rather just have the 10 pounds than have thyroid cancer for sure. So we really want to look at this. Now, listen, what I would do is any Titan patient out there, if you really want and you want to look at the regiment that you're on again, call or text the line. You have 24/7 access to us where you can call and say, hey, listen, things just aren't going like maybe I thought they were going to go, or it's fast as I was going to go. Do you have any other recommendations that maybe I can do? And what's going to happen is the medical assistant will take that to the provider, and then we'll look at it. We'll peel the pages back and kind of look at, hey, listen, is there anything else that maybe we're overlooking here, or maybe we can provide the patient that might give them this result that they're looking for? That's the best thing I could say, because I don't know all your medical history. I don't want to sit here and say, do this, or we're going to do this for you, and us not be able to do it because something in the medical history. That's where the really providers have to step in. But we can look at things absolutely, and if you have a question about things, don't be afraid to contact us. That's what we tell our patients to do, and that's what I want you guys to do.
I love this. Hey, what we'll try to work on for after the first of the year is a room. And what we'll do is see if we can't get a wellness provider from Titan Medical to sit with us for an hour for all you Titans out there that are in the Titan crew that would like to sit there for a moment and ask your provider to answer these questions for you guys. I think that'd be a great opportunity. And so what I'll do is I'll start getting an email list together for you guys and put that out there. And so we can get all you hundreds and thousands of people in there to ask some good, honest questions to the wellness provider and see if we can get there. I think that'd be a great opportunity. Mary, I think that'd be a great thing for you to really ask those questions. And then just for all the different aspects that maybe we're not thinking of things, like Mona came over here with some mic drops here. Absolutely. With great information. And then again, we get this one day a week with John to talk to him, but they're there all week. Mm-hmm. So take advantage of it. Call up, talk to them. And somebody said here, where do you get blood work done? Well, you get it done right here at Titan Medical.
Yep. Just call or text us, 727-389-3220. We'll set you up with blood work nationwide, wherever you're located, a nearest lab closest to you at the most inexpensive prices that you're going to get across the country. And right now, we're having the discount. So if you call in and you say Mike's name or Mike Titan or whatever it is you see on the Mike Show, you'll get the blood work for males for $130. I'm going to release this special later on today. So you guys are getting it earlier than anybody else out there. Nobody knows about this. Males will be $130. Females will be $200. You guys sign up. I'm going to have it for Christmas all the way through, so people can get on it, jump on it, and start, 1, getting better health. 2, get on their New Year's resolutions, because a lot of you guys are asking for weight loss. I guarantee it for New Year's resolutions. Or I'm going to be a bigger, badder Titan this year. Let's go. Let's get you on that track and get you going early.
Love it.
Yeah, I've talked about this. The AOD is one of those things. Everybody take a pen and paper right now and just write that down. That was one of my favorite peptides from Titan Medical to help with body fat shredding. Now, again, yes, you need to be dieting, you need to be on the program, but wow, AOD. John, can you explain this to them out there again? It's a peptide, which is a line of amino acids.
Yeah.
How is this such a powerhouse that it is?
The powerhouse is this. So growth hormone is a 191 amino acid sequence. AOD is 176 amino acid sequence of that 191, right? So at that point, you're getting the weight loss sequence of the growth hormone. So at that point, you won't get any of the negative effects. It's not going to raise IGF-1 levels, right? It's not going to have any growth function. It's not going to give you possibly insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes. You're not going to have any crash from your growth hormone. But what it is going to do is this. It functions in 2 different ways: lipolysis and lipogenesis. So what it does is it stores stored fat as energy, 1, so it starts releasing. And then 2, instead of storing the calories that you'd be putting in your mouth, it starts using that as fuel too as well. So you're not going to store any fat at all, and you're utilizing fat that's stored for energy production. So it's going to give you a lot of different benefits, whether you're trying to lose 1 pound, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. It's going to be very beneficial, and you're not going to have any of the negative effects of growth hormone, but you're going to get all the positive effects of the weight loss.
So I gotta say this to finish out today's show. There's a movie that I'm in right now. It's called Divinity.
Yep.
And the reason why I say this is kind of funny is because in the movie, the principle of the movie, I guess you would say, or what it is the discovery of how to live forever and be youthful forever and strong and look like a superhero. And that's what the movie's about. And the movie's obviously fake and stuff. But I always come back to these discussions with John about what is possible in the reality of world today,
Yes.
about how you could actually be that metahuman, that superhero where the AOD helps with the body fat. With you in the bedroom, you got the Superman, Iron Man,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you absolutely destroy. It's an amazing thing that what is available and stuff that doesn't hurt you
Right.
and doesn't cause side effects and stuff like that, which is just an amazing aspect of this. And then from the brain focus to, like you said, you don't want to be just looking good. You want to be the full package. You want to be able to look good, but you also want to have some go in you.
Absolutely.
And I know that I put out this, my team put this video together and we posted up on my page right now. You can see it on IG. Is that we talk about this being able to take off the shirt in your 40s and 50s and look like you do. And we used the shot of John with his ridiculous abs and physique. And I love that aspect because it goes back to he's not just the CEO of the company. He lives it. He uses what he's putting out there for you guys. And so he's an example. And I love that aspect of it.
Yep.
You're an example of what the company is. And for me, I am very biased. I hate the fact that you see these people selling these workouts and it's like, wait, you're the freaking owner of this company and you look like that?
Right.
What the heck? You look like a below average 45-inch waist and you're saying, get this workout program. It's going to get you in shape. What? You own the company. Why aren't you in shape? Shut the heck up.
Exactly.
It's like, at
It's
what
crazy.
point do you sit there and people, it's like, there's got to be a representation of what you're doing and what you're living. And this is somebody that's been doing this company now. If I'm correct, is it 11 years or 14 years?
11 and a half years right now.
Okay, 11 years. And he looks better today than he did 11 years ago.
This is true.
So
True.
again, I know I was talking about my movie and that's fiction. It's not, I'm sorry. And we got this, that this is the reality of it. What you can achieve is sitting right in front of you on what you can possibly do to, if you live the lifestyle. And yeah, I'm sorry. I know that was a lot of me throwing the hype up there, but it's just, that's what I love about you is that you live this and you're not just out there.
Yeah. No, I'm not. You can't fake it to make it. That's one thing with the body. You can't fake it to make it, man. You can't fake it to make it a healthy lifestyle. You can do all you want. It is what it is. You have all the money in the world. I mean, you just can't do it. You got to put in the hard work, and it is what it is. I mean, even with some of the things that these medical procedures and implants and all these different things, it's still ain't gonna look right, and you still got to put in the hard work because if you don't, I see a lot of these women and stuff like that. They get liposuction, they get all this stuff. They don't change a damn thing. And then 5 years later, it's like, man, then it looks really bad because the fat cells are out of place and all these different things. So it's like, you got to put in the work and you're only going to benefit from it, right? If you're putting in, the consistency of a healthy lifestyle, you're eating good majority of the time. And I'm not even talking about being perfect every single meal. And you're working out 3 to 4 times a week. I'm not talking about 7 days a week, 2 hours, 3 hours in the gym. You can create a healthier lifestyle for yourself and you're going to feel better, right? And your nutrition, you're good by the food. You're not eating McDonald's every day and drinking pop. And trust me, you're going to feel better by some of the food that you're eating just alone. Like we talk about how food is medication. That's probably the best med you could possibly get is food. Right? And if you eat the right foods, you'll probably stay away from a lot of different diseases or sicknesses that you might get. Maybe, maybe not. There's people out there that are really healthy that, catch cancer or whatever it is just by a fluke. And they're like, how did I do this? There's going to be instances like that. But, if you can start looking at some different things and with technology the way it is, So the first CRISPR just got FDA approved. And if you don't know what CRISPR is, that's gene editing. So that means that this is super cool stuff.
Yeah.
This has been around for a while now. So it just hasn't been FDA approved. And the CRISPR function, gene editing, they did it for sickle cell now where they inject you with this. It changed your gene and you don't have sickle cell no more. It's groundbreaking. It's evolution. It's crazy. The movie
Sounds
that I
like a
can compare
movie
it to
again.
is there's a movie and it's called Titan. If you haven't seen it, it's with this big actor. I can't remember his name, but he's been in a lot of different movies. But Clash of the Titans is one of them. He's the main guy. So this movie Titan, right, is about these astronauts that have to go to Mars.
I did see that.
And they
The
have
guy
to
from
live.
Fighter is in it. Yes, Warrior.
So basically,
Yeah, Sam.
what they're doing is they're giving these injections to transform and to create an evolutionized human being. And this guy changes completely, can breathe underwater. Features the whole nine. So it's really, really cool. But that's kind of what it is, without changing your body and looking like an alien and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I'm going for, man. I mean, I want to be the Ponce de Leon of this business. You know, I want to. That's why I came to Florida. I came to find the Fountain of Youth. I'm here to create it for everybody else and help them out.
Can we pull Art? Can we pull that sign for a second and just show that Christmas tree again behind there? And the reason why I want to say this is the fact that right now is about the season of giving. It is Christmas time. It is there, and so if you have somebody in your family that is not taking care of themselves, they're not, it's like Johnny said, you could live a good life, but if you don't got the family, you don't got the health, you don't got much. And so take advantage of maybe using Titan Medical as a gift. Give them a recommendation, see what they can do over at Titan Medical about doing that and getting somebody that maybe that needs to do blood work, that needs to get in there, maybe help get some body fat off, maybe focus on the mind a little bit. You change your mind, you change everything, right? And so I know that we were talking about just the NAD for the mind and all that, but just thinking if they start being more clear, they start focusing more, maybe that changes more than just the mind, the focus of the change of the family and how they live and how they work.
Absolutely.
Just an idea, just a simple thought of something that could be a really cool gift that's not just socks and shoes, but something that changes their lives forever.
Absolutely. And gift certificates. You guys can call or text to get gift certificates. There's been a lot of gift certificates. We usually sell a lot of gift certificates. Usually for blood work, or they just, like, hey, listen, put $200 on. They might already be a patient and stuff like that. People know that they're spending money or whatever. So, yeah, they're really, really good. And the gift of health, I mean, it's the best investment for you or your loved one or friend or family member. It really is.
And then for, like Johnny said so beautifully, maybe some Cupid's candy or Superman or Iron Man for your significant other to really bring in the New Year's with a rockin' evening.
That's right. Wrecking force coming through.
Man, Johnny, thank you again for this. Thanks for doing it earlier too, because I'm going to go laugh my ass off right now watching all these kids perform.
I can't wait. That's going to be awesome, dude.
I love it, brother. Thank you again for you guys being you, and also the beautiful Christmas gifts. There's some more stuff coming your way. I can't wait till you get this one gift, because it's a nice inside joke that you and I have.
Yes, sir.
So enjoy the day, guys. Also, over on my page right now, we have a YouTube with one of the Team Titan Medical, Big Drew.
Yes.
And talking about how John had changed his life. More is not always better. And then also on top of that, check out the other podcast I have with John, talking about really enhancing your optimizing your life with the wellness provider. That's it.
All right. You guys have a good one. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Thanks,
you guys.
Thanks, Art.